Oh, hi everyone, I'm Tamil and my entry number is 76989. As I've been assigned, I'm now going to present on the analysis of gender expression and gender identity in the Gangubai Kathiawadi movie. First of all, we should understand what does it mean gender identity? Gender identity means how do we feel about our gender? It's a personal thing in ourselves. And the expression is how do we express or how do we present to others about our gender. It is the meaning of gender expression and gender identity. Now let us see the summary of the movie. First of all, Gangubai, which who known as Ganga in the early stage, she been sold in the prostitute area by his boyfriend, and she also adapted the situation and she tried to cope up with the problem she faced with the help of Karim Lala, and she also start to fight for her colleagues or her communities' rights, like their children's education rights and residential rights. And she also entered the politics, and this is the simple synopsis of the story. Let's get into the gender expression of Gangubai Kathiawadi character. Gangubai, as we can see and feel, she is a female and the feminine character. Gangubai Kathiawadi, known as a mafia queen, shows us how did she had expressed herself in the Kamantipura community. The word queen defines the portrait. How does she portray herself, a female gender in the world, to the world? But not a normal female, despite as a revolutionary female, and that will be discussed below. As the beginning of the story, we can see main character heroine Gangu enter with a white story, anklet and female footwear. In the entire film also, Gangubai used to put the sindoor for over here, which the Indian tradition for female. As the tragedy in her life, Gangu was sold in the prostitution area, as I've been said earlier, just for 1,000 rupees by her ridiculous boyfriend. And she also became forced or adapt the prostitution area. And it clarifies that the main character Gangubai expressed herself as a female because those days in India, only female do prostitution. In the film also, she been assumed as a sister. Karim Lala character is a Don La. To strengthen my point, the main character Gangu expressed herself as a female. There is a scene in a picture that she claims she as herself as a mother of the children, and she want to fight for their children's educational right. And now we get into the gender expression of Razia Bai. The special thing about Razia Bai is her gender is non-conformity or transgender. Some have hailed Vijay Raj as the best actor. One of the user commented, everyone's acting is brilliant, but Razia Bai just stand out for me. I mean, the way portray the character is just brilliant. The Razia Bai main character impressed the audience. To understand deeply about the gender expression of the character, which is gender non-conformity, trans woman, is a gender expression by an individual that does not match masculine or feminine gender norms. A gender non-conforming person may be variant in their gender identity, being transgender or non-binary, or they may be cisgender. In the case, the transgender people perceived themselves as a gender conforming before transitioning. As we can see in the movie, Razia Bai is clearly a man who pretends to be a woman, which made her become transgender in the movie. There are a lot of scenes shows Razia Bai's gender expression. One of the way through his or her dressing sense or attire. The scene when she meets Gangubai in the restaurant, she was wearing sari, female jewelries and female cosmetics. Before that also, the way director made the entrance of the Razia Bai, which she throws the rice to the people while riding the vehicle, also describes her gender expression because her body language shows us her or his as a trans woman. Next, let's see on the the gender identity, how does they portray themselves. gender identity of the Gangubai. Those barriers on female regarding gender identity have been broke by the Gangubai in the movie. In the very first scene, she was holding an alcohol bottle, which straight opposite to the Indian female stereotype because as been constructed as the female, they should not smoke or drink, but both been did by the Gangubai. The old stereotype that the female should be soft and the man should be bold, but the Gangubai, although forced to be a sex worker, her choice to change her name from Ganga to Gangu and changing herself to adapt the situation declares how strong-minded and bold she is. After that, we also got some goosebumps when the Gangubai takes some violent action against the masculine man, which shows her exposing her feminine identity in a different way. I really like it, and I hope you guys also do it. Now we look on the Razia Bai's identity. It has been understood that Vijay Ras plays as a role of a trans woman, who is the real queen of Kamantipura. To have a strong main character, the director gave her role of a strong identity, which is a trans woman. The way Razia Bai portrayed her identity was fantastic and been proven because usually the society avoid the transgender, but he or she was accepted by the community, not just a normal person as a leader of them. The Razia Bai also present him or herself with his male voice while dressing like a female, which differentiates her gender identity than the others. Stating about identity also includes the Razia Bai's courage and confident characteristic, which showed in the public when he or she went Gangubai's area to meet her and poured alcohol in her food. Razia Bai also tend to wear female clothes, cosmetics and jewelries to make sure others also understand her or his gender identity as a trans woman. In conclusion, we should not afraid of our identity and we should be proud how do we express ourselves and be bold. That's it for me. Thank you.